So what are you looking for in terms of quality, right? So one thing you want to look at is you want to take a look at the hinges, right? So you open up the cabinet door, and what types of hinges do they have? You know, first off, these are concealed, right? So you don't see them. You know, so that's a nice clean look. But also, let's look at the quality, right? If you open up the cabinet door and you see a hinge like that, you know you're dealing with a high quality build. You know, these are made with US steel, and just look at all the different points of contact in there. You know, just holding all of this together. You know, and all the adjustment points, right? I mean, just count the screws. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7. You know, and that's, so there's a lot of points of contact. There's a lot of adjustment points in there. But what's really cool, you know, and obviously you've seen this before, but, you know, they soft close, right? But not all soft close hinges are created equal. So you definitely want to open it up. You want to take a look, you know, at how they're constructed, where the points of contact are. And also these adjust. So you can actually adjust these right here, and you can actually make it close a little faster than that if that's too slow for you. Or, you know, you can shut it off completely and it doesn't even need to soft close, you know. But soft close is going to be a huge benefit because, you know, the wear and tear on the hinge, you know, if things are closing softer, you're not slamming the door and loosening up the hinges. All the material is obviously going to last a lot longer, you know, on your cabinetry. So, you know, that's definitely one of the things you want to look at, you know, when you're inspecting the kitchen. You know, look at those hinges. That's going to tell you a lot right there as far as the builder and the builder grade of, you know, all of your workmanship in the cabinets. You know, you want to look how thick the wood is and what type of wood. You know, you got 3/4 inch wood right here that these hinges are attached to. You know, we have a 3/4 inch face frame right here. So, you know, there's a lot of things, and I'll show you more when we look at actual cabinets. Not that this is an actual cabinet, but this is just, you know, a little makeshift, you know, unit just to see, you know, and show, you know, how things operate as far as the hinges and different things go. All right, so the other thing you want to take a look at, you know, are the drawers, right? So how are the drawers operating, right? So first, you know, you want to open the drawers and you want to inspect, right? First off, you want to see how far they open. So that's what's cool about these drawers. These fully extend, right? And that's in large part due to the glide system that's being used, right? So you want to inspect the glides, which we'll do in a minute because they're on the bottom. And I'll wait until I'm done with this part to show you that. But you want to look at ones that fully extend, right? So that's going to give you the best functionality in your kitchen. You know, when you see drawers that only open that far, you know, it's tough to get to the stuff in the back. It might not seem like a lot, but if you have a junk drawer and things get caught, or you have, you know, your utensils and you have things behind that, you know, your utensil holder, you know, it can be tough to get to. You know, a full extension just makes life so much easier in the kitchen. You know, and as far as another thing you want to look for is the construction, right? Is it solid wood? What's it made out of? It's not that particle board stuff, right? That's not what you want to see. You know, these here have maple dovetail. So they have maple dovetail joints, you know, and obviously that's going to be a much stronger joint, you know, but don't rule it out if you don't see maple dovetail, because if you got solid wood and it's constructed good, I've seen joints that are just fine, even if they're not maple dovetail. But maple dovetail is nice, you know, obviously. And a lot of times, I'd say almost 100, but I have seen it without. Almost 100% of the time is the glides on a maple dovetail going to be underneath. And that's what I will show you. I'll flip this drawer box over. But before I do that, I just want to show you one other thing. You know, when you close it, is it soft closes, right? So there is hydraulics built into the glides, but that's the big thing you want to look at is the glides. So see, it'll soft close. And actually, that just reminded me of one other thing I just wanted to show you. So the difference between the side mount, which I used to have a box that had side mount, but I don't have it, so I can't really show you. And the undermount, one of the main differences is, you know, you get a little more room to play with when you undermount, right? Because you can go further to the edge, you know, as far as the drawer box goes. So, you know, you get a little bit more room with the undermount. I go back and forth. I like side mounts too. They are very strong if you have the right ones. But the undermounts are, you know, they're both going to hold you 75 pounds. They're both going to be good. You get more space with the undermount. But if you don't see undermount, don't be alarmed. You know, the side mounts are very nice too. You know, I wish I had one to show you, but I'm going to flip this box over. It's kind of tougher to see when you look at it from the bottom. You know, when you see the side mount, you can clearly see, you know, the glide system and everything. But that's what you want to look at. Is it made out of steel? Does it have a little plastic roller? Or, you know, what kind of material are the glides made out of? And, you know, do they soft close? And, you know, things like that. So let me flip it over to show you the bottom. All right, so that's what you're looking for. You're looking for some steel glides. You know, when you look under the drawer, and that's what we got here. So that's what you want to take a look at. You want to look for steel. These also have hydraulics. You know, they're inside there. It's kind of tough to see in the video, but that's what's going to allow for the soft close. But yeah, that's what you're looking for. You want to see nice steel glides and not those plastic rollers and things like that. You know, you just want to see nice steel glides, and that's going to make a huge difference as far as, you know, how long this drawer is going to last, and, you know, how well it's going to function, and different things like that. So let's look in contrast, you know, to these cabinets. So, you know, if you're going to inspect the cabinets over here, you open these up. Let's look at the hinges. Yeah, they're concealed, but look how many less points of contact there are. And, you know, they are concealed, like I said, but that's not soft close. It's called self close. You gotta close them yourself. So, you know, that's just one thing to look at. And then look at the material, right? I mean, this was obvious, but this is what you want to look for signs of. You know, sometimes they use this cheap contact paper. You know, it looks great at the beginning, but what does it look like, you know, a few years down the road? I mean, look at that. I don't want to ruin these, but you can see, you know, but they just put that on. You know, it's not built to last. So there's all different kinds of materials that you can use for effacing materials and different things. And this was obviously not a great material. So, but that's, you know, one of the things you want to take a look at when you're inspecting. You know, the other thing you want to take a look at is you want to look at the seams, you know, inside the cabinets where they meet, you know, make sure nothing's coming apart at the seams. Make sure everything is, you know, nice and tight and sturdy on there. You know, you always want to look under the sink to make sure that there's no water damage. Lakes up. So it's all sinking in. You know, I'm not even going to go into there, but that's one major area that you see a lot of times is water damage. Now, it can be fixed. You know, you can put new wood down there. It's not the end of the world if that's the only thing stopping you from buying a house, but, you know, it's one of those things you want to look at, you know. And, you know, we'll take a look at the drawers. All right. So, like we were saying, so not too bad. It's wood, right? But look at the glides, right? Look how much the drawer shakes. And I didn't show that on my example, but that drawer is, you know, not going to shake anything. You know, anything close to this is barely going to move because those glides are on there. But, you know, a lot of times, as soon as you see white, that's already that telltale, the material. And that, if I took it out, you'd see there's a little white plastic roller in there. And this is as far as this drawer's coming. It's not going to come out any more than that. So, you know, that's another thing you want to, you know, and obviously that's not soft close either. So boom, every time you close it, you're just loosening things up and you're banging against the material. So that's not good either. So, you know, if I was just to push it hard and then it would soft close, it would save all that, the vibrations and then the wear and tear on the material. So real quick, that's all. So I just wanted to show, you know, some of the things to look for. Obviously this is, sorry, I left that open. You got to look at that ugly underneath. You know, these are just some things to look at, you know, when you're looking at cabinets. You know, they're not all created equal. You know, you can walk in a house and everything can look brand new, but you definitely want to take an inspection. And what about IKEA? What are their kitchens all about? Come on, let's check it out. I'll show you. So one of the benefits of an IKEA kitchen is just the ability to maximize space. I mean, just look at this wall here. I mean, storage-wise, they are maximizing, you know, this entire wall for storage. So you definitely, IKEA, you know, the quality compared to, you know, quality cabinetry, you know, in a regular build with wood, you know, this is not going to compare. It's not going to hold up to that. But, you know, if you're looking at an apartment or a condo and you got a small space, you know, IKEA might be the right solution for you. But if you walk into a house with IKEA cabinets, you definitely want to inspect them. And, you know, these are not built to last, you know, nearly as long as, you know, a high quality build with cabinetry. So let me take a look inside. I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. Now, the doors look great, right? And you do have some space here. One thing I do like is they have a lot of these, you know, good functionality with these drawers and different things that they add in. But some of the things I don't like, you know, is every time you open an IKEA cabinet, and I get it because they want to be flexible with the space, it's just the look. You know, seeing all these holes, it just reminds me of like a bookshelf, you know? You know, like this wall here. You know, this looks really nice on the outside, and that is mainly what you see. But as soon as you open it, I mean, I don't know, just look at the inside of this. I mean, is this what you want to see every time you open your cabinets? I mean, I just always feel like I'm opening like a bookshelf or something. You know, and the cabinets are going to soft close. But like we were talking about with the hinges, I mean, there's different quality. You know, I'm not saying that these are terrible, but you can just see the points of contact and how they're mounted, you know, is a lot different. And then the other thing with IKEA we always got to look at is it's just full overlay. So, you know, this, all the doors are going to be full overlay. And if you don't know what that means, is there's no face frame on these cabinets. So face frames really help strengthen the cabinet. And I'll have to show a cabinet with a face frame somewhere else, but there's a face frame that will go, you know, and hold the front of the cabinet sturdy. And, you know, these don't have the face frame. So that's just something to look at too. So when you don't have the face frame, you know, your doors have to full overlay and cover the complete outsides of the box. So that's just a look. Some people like full overlay. You know, that is a look that some people go for, but some people don't like that full overlay look. And I'll show you a couple more while I'm in here. And what about the drawers? So one thing I'll say about the drawers, you know, the drawer quality is not too bad. I mean, you get a little wiggle there, but you do have some steel glides in there. You know, I'm not seeing the plastic rollers and that kind of stuff. So that's good. You know, I've been in a lot of IKEA kitchens, and, you know, most of the time the drawers are holding up pretty good over time. They do soft close, so, you know, I'd say the quality on the drawers are definitely better than, you know, the hinge setup and the door setup, you know, and the actual cabinets themselves. So here's just another example of maximizing space on a wall in this kitchen here. Definitely maximizing, and again, you got the full overlay. They got a two-tone kitchen going on here with the white and then the wood look on all the base cabinets, and then the white on this wall over here. Two-tone again, you know, that's been trending. You got the white on the wall cabinets, and you got a dark gray on the base cabinets. Again, full overlay because there's no face frame. So you got to cover up, you know, they can't be any bigger than that. And again, you got the look I don't like on the inside. And here's what I'm talking about with the hinges. So these you push, but I don't know if you can see that hinge up there, but this whole door is wobbling already. You know, you can just see how thin. Well, you can't really see it there, but the wood is definitely not 3/4 inch on that. You know, when that happens with the hinges, what happens with the doors, right? They don't line up, they don't close right. So, high quality hinge is definitely something you want to look for, you know, when you're looking at your kitchen or upgrading it. So, what are the cabinets made out of? So over here, you get a little sneak peek. Again, you see all the holes I don't like. But over here, you can kind of see what they're made out of. So you can just see, you can push on that. It's a softer material. And IKEA uses fiberboard for all of their cabinetry. And let's go take a look at some doors that they have over here. So just to show the difference here, so this is particle board. So you just got to be careful when you're choosing and when you're inspecting your own kitchen, right? So that's what particle board looks like. And if you want to see what the fiber board looks like, you know, here's the fiber board. Now a lot of times it's going to be refaced with the material, but you also, if you ever get a glance, you want to see how thin the material is that is refacing it, because that's going to go a large way in determining, you know, the quality of how long your kitchen's going to last, right? A lot of them, they look great on the outside, but how thick is that material? How long is it going to stay on there for? But just so you see the differences with that. And this one here is going to have particle board in the middle, surrounded by 2 thin pieces of fiberboard. And one thing you also want to take a look at with the IKEA that I notice a lot when I go in IKEA kitchens is the discoloring. So you start to see some yellowing, you know, and I've been in kitchens where the homeowners say the kitchen's not even that old and you already start to see the yellowing. You can see the difference between the white and the yellowing. Again, the lovely holes that I love. But also, you know, just move things, shake things, just feel how secure things are on the wall when you're inspecting. You know, you can feel, you know, you can tell the difference, you know, relatively easy. I'm not saying these are horrible. They have their place, and they are very good with storage and capacity and different setups, but, you know, the quality isn't there. And part of that is without having the face frame, but just the quality of the wood itself. You know, it's not like regular hardwood. You know, we're not building these out of oak or maple, that kind of thing. So just something you want to look at with IKEA. Is another great example of just maximizing the space on a wall. So that is one advantage. What is this the look you're looking for with the full overlay, and you know, if that hinge starts to not close right, you're gonna have an issue. You're gonna have a gap there. There's no face frame or anything in the middle there. So these doors have to perfectly line up. And those are some things you just want to think about if you're walking into a house that has an IKEA kitchen. How long is that kitchen gonna last? And how long is it going to continue to look the way it does? And maybe it's already starting to break down. So that's a wrap on IKEA kitchens. I just wanted to give you a little overview of them. Okay, so here's another store. Let's go take a look at. It's going to stay unnamed, but it's a big box store. Let's take a look. So here's some cabinets on the shelf. You see, they look pretty nice, right? Nice wood, right? Well, look what they're made out of. What's under that wood? Right? It's particle board. See? Look at this. There's a corner cabinet. Particle board. So you really got to be careful when you're looking at cabinets. You really got to be careful. You really got to study them. When you go into houses, you kind of want to see, you know, the best you can. It's not always easy, right? They're attached to the wall. They're side by side. You know, you might not even be able to really totally tell. But, you know, it's just some things to take a look at. And just understand as a concept that you just can't go by the looks, especially if you're buying like a flip home. I mean, a lot of times they just throw a coat of paint on there and, you know, call it a day. So, yeah, you definitely want to dive in deeper. One thing I want to talk about with this too is let's talk about the construction, right? So this is wood. So as you can tell, wood, a lot of times the grains will run this way. A lot of times they're a 5-piece door. So what I mean by that, if I didn't have this thing covering it, let me see if I can show you better. So down here, I'll show you, you know, you can see the seam and the grains go this way, and then they go this way, and then they go across, and then they go up, right? So we'll bring that back up here so it's more eye level. And that's something you want to look at, right? So that's one way you can tell it's wood, although they get really good these days at even putting a laminate to make it look like that, right? But this is a 5-piece door, so you got the 4 outside frame pieces. Sorry, the phone's not following my finger. I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. And then you have, you know, the base of it. So, but this is wood, but, you know, we got particle board with it. So you might go into a house and be like, oh, solid wood, right? Not necessarily the case. So something to keep in mind. Could be particle board under there. And there's a lot of doors that are 5-piece. It's gonna be tough to show you in the video, but these are 5-piece. You can see a little hairline there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 5-piece door also. So there are some 1-piece doors. A lot of the composite core MDF doors are 1-piece, and they just route it with this giant machine with this big diamond drill bit, which I'll see if I can find one in here. All right, so here's more examples. You can see here, you can see the line, right? So this is a 5-piece. And then over here, you don't see it, right? So that's a 1-piece door, and this is all routed out on a giant machine. Over here you see the different components here. So a little dusty up there, but anyway, just so you can see when you're looking, if you're trying to see if it's a 1-piece door or a 5-piece door, that's what you want to look at. You want to just look at the little seam right here. Just because you see 5-piece doesn't even mean it's all solid wood either, because they get tricky with some of this stuff. And here's an example of a drawer. Look at all that wobble. If you feel these are aluminum. These aren't even steel. So, that's not what you're looking for. You want to make sure, this is very thin. You can just feel it that it's thin. You can tell right away that's aluminum. Right, and there's no soft close there. Self-close, doesn't even. And on contrast, look at this drawer, right? So this drawer is a high quality. See, full extension, not a lot of wiggle. Maple dovetail, and I'm not going to get underneath, but you're going to see that it's got the steel and a soft close. So this is definitely high quality as far as the drawer goes compared to the others. And then also what I wanted to show you is we talk about face frames, right? So this piece here is the face frame. So you can see, when we were in IKEA, you just saw the front of the cabinet. It was just this very thin section. But here, there's a whole face frame connected to that, and that's just going to keep it, I wish I was facing the camera, but from twisting, right? It's going to hold the front of it strong. So the back's secured to the wall. What about the front? You stop putting weight on it. That's going to help just secure the front of the cabinet. There'll be a little lip here, but that's kind of what you're looking for. Face frames is definitely a higher quality cabinet. And, just to get a more of a visual, I'll show you what they have here. That little piece there is a face frame, right? So that's what's added, So even with IKEA cabinets, you could add a face frame. If you went with a cabinet makeover company, they can add it on there. And then you can make the doors. They don't have to be such a perfect lineup. Now this is pretty much full overlay also, but you don't have to be. You have some play. These cabinets are all full overlay, but I'll see if they have some that are not, because you don't have to have it when you have the face frame, right? It doesn't have to be full overlay. And now we're back over to the wood, and because I just wanted to show you, okay, these are not full overlay. See how you can see the face frame? So, that's how a lot of kitchens are. I also want to show you something in here too. Let's see which way it opens. So inside looks nice, right? It's like a natural maple kind of look to it. So it looks good, right? But again, it's on the outside. Particle board, right? And you're not going to see that in between. So you want to see, because the person before you, if you're just buying a house, they might have just threw a cheap kitchen in there. So do your best, do your due diligence. If you look in those holes, you could probably see maybe the particle board part. So I know it's difficult. It's not exact science. But just investigate the best that you can. I'm just trying to give you some pointers of what to look out for. Some material is made to look like it's high quality and it's not. So just some things to take a look at with the cabinets. And actually we'll look at the hinges too. So you can just see there's just 3 points of contact in here. And these, they don't soft close. So, but that's something to look at too. So. Not all cabinets are created equal. Here's another great example of the drawers not being high quality. So I don't know if you can see on the camera, but these are that white material. It's gonna have the plastic roller in there. And these are brand new cabinets. So I just want to be careful, what you're looking for. So if you are doing an upgrade or you're just looking at your own kitchen on a potential house, those are some things you definitely want to look at. So just because it's brand new doesn't mean it's going to be all high quality, going to last a long time. So let's take a look at these. They have the white or facing material on them. Everything looks really good, right? Open it up. That natural maple look, you know, but then you come over here to this box, same thing, right? What's it made out of? It's particle board, right? So, you know, that's what you want to take a look at. So, you know, be careful what you buy. So it might look like you're buying something really nice, but really, how long is that particle board going to last, right? So, another great thing to look at from this perspective, right, is you're looking at your drawers, right? And it looks like a good sized drawer, right? But when you side mount, like we were talking about at the very beginning, see the side mount, I mean, look how much space you lose on the sides. I mean, it might be tough to tell on video, you know, and I'll go to some of these other ones. I mean, you're losing a lot of storage space when you side mount, right? And it really stands out in person. I don't even know if the video is doing it justice here. It looks like a big drawer. Look how tiny the drawer is compared to the front, right? The drawer front. So, big difference, the size of the drawer. So, a lot of it has to do with how they mount. So, in closing, you know, there's a lot of different components to cabinetry, right? So, let me show you, I'll break it down. I'm not getting into everything. I'm getting very, very basic in this video. There's a lot of elements with moldings and light rail moldings and all those different things. But I'm just looking at basic cabinetry. So in closing, let me just take a look at this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when you really break it down, you have the box itself. You know, you have the drawer front. You know, you got the door. So you have the, you know, the boxes of the cabinet. You have the door. You have all the hardware, whether it's the hinges or the glides. And you have the material that covers the door, right? So those are the main parts of the cabinetry. So that's what we want to kind of take a look at, because you can go through different companies, you can remake cabinets, you can cabinet makeover, but you want to make sure the bones are good, right? Like they say. So, you know, imagine removing all the doors, all the drawers, all the handles. You know, you could sand the material down, you could put a new material over that. That's kind of what you want to take a look at. So even if the kitchen's not exactly what you wanted, all you got to do is take a look at, you know, different options that you would have as far as refacing, cabinet makeover, that kind of thing. You know, if the boxes are still in good shape. Because a total tear out is going to cost you a lot more than just doing a cabinet makeover. So those are some things to think about. Hopefully your kitchen's in great shape. So you want to inspect what's going on with the kitchen. You want to look at the quality of the build that's there currently, because that's going to make a big difference as far as the offer that you put in for the home, right? Like, you want to have an idea of how upgraded this kitchen is and the condition of the kitchen. So hopefully I've showed you a few things so you can kind of look at that. But also on the flip side, you know, you could still put an offer in that home just because the kitchen isn't perfect, and just know that you have different options out there to upgrade the kitchen, right? You can replace the doors, the hinges, the glides, the drawers, and that's going to go a long way, you know. And then you want to look at what material are you going to put on the cabinets themselves. Now, I'm not a big advocate for paint. I could probably make a full video on the temporary nature of paint, and how I'm not a big advocate for that. But that's just some options that you have. So hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions at all, please feel free, reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. I love answering your questions, and you know, I've been designing kitchens. I've been in, you know, a lot of kitchens, or a lot of kitchens. So I can tell you definitely some things I've come across, some things to look for as far as when you're identifying your kitchen and your potential new home. So have a great day, take care, and as always, reach out to me.